All right, everybody. Welcome back to Scratch the Vinyl. You made it here for another week, and we're glad that you did. We have another amazing guest. We keep telling you guys, we have another guy, and I'm pretty pumped because this guy, I'm just going to let you guys know, I played football with this guy. This guy's always ready to roll. I don't think it's going to be hard for him to have a great interview. He's been in Section 8. He's been in Unspoken. He's been in Swagger Wagon. He's currently in Dad Rock and Ghetto Blaster. Let's welcome Joe Clapper to the show. Joe, how the heck are you?
Good. How are you guys? I'm always good.
Yeah, man. You're always ready to go. Every time I get my fondest thoughts of you, especially in football, is you were that guy that I knew that we could follow out of the locker room. You know, like you were always ready to roll, which is who you want as a teammate.
Yeah. I still have that problem sometimes, but it gets you in trouble.
It does. You don't always follow Joe to certain places.
Oh, yeah. I don't always think that's the best path to go. But no, that's good. There was a pretty good times there, and that was fun.
And these Northeasters on the other side, they're not going to understand what we have to say. But I mean, this is like we got the Lincoln High love coming up here. It's feeling great to have somebody finally from Lincoln High to talk to.
Yeah, I've been surrounded by Northsiders for like the last half of my life.
Yeah,
I know where I end up moving, and you know what? At first, I didn't want to live over there. I told my wife, I was like, "It's ain't moving there. It's ghetto," and she laughed. Whatever. Now I probably never leave. It's I love it over there. Yeah. All the people are real genuine and never really had any problems there. Everybody's got everybody's back. It's a community.
You don't feel that over here on the south side. I live in the south side now. I don't feel any community I don't even talk to my neighbors. Like I go outside, they all just kind of peer at me from afar and hope that I don't say anything to them. It's wild, but
it is different. And I like it. At first it was annoying because, everybody's like, oh, they know my wife and you better treat her right. You know what I mean? And then pretty soon those same people are telling other people that about you, It's like, they're pretty good people. And it was a good move. I like it now. I'm probably stuck over there.
Let's get my other hosts on here, the Northsiders that I'm referring to. Let's talk about this Northsider, the king of karaoke in this town, the Godzilla of entertainment, the chill man himself, Randy Wilson. Welcome to the show.
Hey guys, how you doing today? It's great to see everybody. Of course, it's awesome to have Joe finally on the show.
Yeah.
I've been pestering him a little bit. I've been pestering him a little bit to come on, but usually when me and Joe start talking, we've already toasted a few times.
That's true. Kind of hard to keep track of.
But I can't wait to get into that. And of course, Northsider here. Of course, everybody. We make everybody feel welcome. We're the old school. We're the old school neighborhood. So it's good. It's good to have you on, buddy.
Oh yeah, I love it over there.
And then I know she's bursting at the seams. Let's get the big red machine on here. I'm no longer allowed to call her a witch. I think it's too close to saying something else. And I don't believe that about her. She's one of the best people I know. Let's bring on Brooke Johnson, everybody. Brooke, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm so happy you're here, Joe. And
big red machine. I like it.
What? Yeah, go big red.
I like it.
And the North Side. I mean, Ghetto Blasters. Come on now. That's all just has to be some kind of North Side thought of.
I don't think so. That's complete bows. Okay, like 30 years ago, I'm at the Beacon Lounge, and Lee's like, "Yeah, you want to start like a rap cover band?" I was like, "It's the dumbest idea I ever heard." And I never talked to him again about it for like 10 years. And then he brought it up later, and I was like, "Hey, that's a pretty good idea." And it was fun, and it made a kind of turn out to be, not only like a lucrative band, but also a very fun band to be in.
It's an amazing band. Every time I go there, it's nothing but fun. Like, I mean, you guys have even like the whistles and the money guns and you guys are just
had the money guns. We don't
had okay. Money guns. That's right. Had the money gun because we had some drunk chicks thinking that they can go pay for their beer with the money that says fake money on it.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It happened in 2 or 3 different places, and finally the owner's like, "You guys please stop shooting out these fake $100 bills." We're like, "Yeah, that's cool."
Well, it's entertaining, but I mean, it's probably one of the most fun I ever have at a concert is you guys, and especially when you get the crowd. I mean, you guys, I don't know. a little infatuated with your
It is. It's
black.
it's some good music.
Everything. I think I know every lyric to every single one of them, and I just get my inner ghetto going.
Oh yeah. And you know what? The other thing about what I like about it is the age range of people that come. There's 21-year-old kids that like that music, and there's like grandmas coming in with their walkers that are singing along, and it just kind of goes.
Does there is a huge genre. I mean, you're not wrong. There is so many people that go, and I even will be somewhere talking about these bands or whatever, and you guys will come up a lot because they I'll say Ghetto Blasters, and they're like, oh yeah, what are they playing next? And they just freak out.
I think it ended up working because of that. I mean, really, it's if you're kind of a niche or whatever you call it, then you get that group of people, right? But with that 90s hip hop, I mean, there's soccer moms come in, there's young kids come in. Most of my friends, or even a little older than me, grew up with that stuff. So, I mean, he just covers a wide base where I think that's the trick to it is anybody can come and enjoy it, like metal. If you just play metal, you're going to get metal hits.
Well, I can't think of a better frontman when it comes to somebody here in Lincoln for sure. I mean, you exude what a frontman should be, and you're really cornering the market on, you're basically in the band that all of us fantasized about being in. I mean, you guys are playing so many great songs and just really bringing some of this stuff to the forefront that all these other cover bands aren't doing, right? They're still stuck in that same brown-eyed girl and all these type of things. And that's okay. There's a place for that. But what you guys are doing, I think is just so epic, man, on all levels. I really do. And that's from a front man to another front man. I've seen you perform many times, and I think you guys are fantastic.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's if you're into like a dad bod who doesn't really give a shit,
yeah,
got him, baby.
You are one of the first ones that'll take your shirt off and ready to rock.
Always.
I mean, that's like your thing. I'm like, oh, that's coming on.
There it is.
Yep. And then your wife and I get up on stage about halfway through, and we were backup dancers.
Yep.
When really you're like, hey, could you just get us a water and get down, please?
Yeah, I can get you separated. That's something I gotta watch that.
The next time Joe comes into one of my shows, I'm going to announce that I'm the dad bod of karaoke. Then
Yeah, you can have
I think that does resemble my appearance these days.
I'm telling you though, most women, including myself, love dad bods. I love
Joe doesn't have a dad bod.
Not a dad bod. I'm talking I don't like the ones you're pretty muscular though. I mean,
people call it, they were calling our band, Brock Prime, dad bod. And we're like, it's dad rock.
Rock.
Yeah, everybody, they call us dad bod. And I'm like, it's dad rock.
Yes. Yeah, I think y'all are sexy. I'm sorry, everybody. Especially when you wear your Halloween costumes with the really tight. Nobody needs socks.
Well, yeah. Well, let's put that to rest. That was definitely a sock. I don't want people thinking I'm walking around with like a 14-inch hog. I was a Power Ranger, and that thing was revealing, and I was like,
Weren't you the pink one?
No, I think I was green. I can't remember, but two of us were the same color, and one of us just didn't fill it out as much as the other one. So I was like, hey guys, borrow that real quick.
Well, let me tell you, it was entertaining. That you guys are very entertaining, and you are a really good front man. And Kane's not wrong. You are. If people haven't seen you guys yet, they have to go see it. I think in March you guys are playing, aren't you?
Yeah, both bands. Ghetto Blaster does March 14th at Bogey's West in Omaha, and it's our first show with a new drummer. His name's Mike. He lives in Omaha. He's a very good drummer. I don't know him that well. I'm just meeting him, and I like what he's got and what he's done. And I think it's going to help us move forward, and some new songs, new stuff, and just kind of get our act together.
What are some of your set lists? Just some of the songs. Just
for Ghetto Blaster.
Yeah, Ghetto Blasters, and then also Dad.
Yeah, we'll do Ghetto Blaster first here, and that 90s hip hop. We do Regulate, from Warren G, Give Back from Ludacris. Mostly 90s stuff. DMX up in here. Snoop Dogg, what's that? Ain't Nothing But a G Thing. It's a lot of, not a ton, but, 3 or 4 or 5 West Coast songs like that. California Love, What's My Name? And then, we also have like Naughty by Nature, Hip Hop Array, and then Aini Kamosi, Hot Stepper, stuff like that. So it kind of goes a little bit. The new stuff we're looking forward to doing is, I think we've been in the band, I can't remember, maybe 2016 might have been our first show, something like that. I think we're going to move the music up maybe 10 years, start pulling maybe some Lil Wayne, stuff like that, things from maybe early 2000s, 2010, because, that stuff's like 20 years old now, you know what I mean? So Tone Loc is like 30 years old, Wild Thing, Funky Cole Medina, which I like to do a lot of deeper cuts because I think it's fun for me because I'm selfish. Everybody happy. We got to do some of those bubblegum poppy rap songs too, which is fine. And they have their space. It's not my favorite. I tell everybody that's Stan's job to rap those.
I think it sounds to be able to rap and to remember all the lyrics because you listen to them, you can hear them. It's kind of like instead of your phonetic thing where if you don't remember a lyric, it sounds something similar to it. But in rapping, you can't really do that. You have to pretty much be right on, like spot on. And you and Stan can,
it goes pretty good. It's definitely a lot, especially with, in 3 bands at one time. I was in all 3, Swagger Wagon, Dad Rock, and that's a lot of lyrics. And that's probably one thing I will not use an iPad on stage. I see a lot of people do that. I'm not saying it's wrong. You're either going to entertain or you're going to read off your iPad. You know what I mean? You're not going to do both. Well, I just memorize all of it. And I don't know how many lyrics to songs I know. And I'm not saying I know them all the time, but you get up there, sometimes you get an autopilot. And then you're like, what's the next word? I don't know. Here it comes. And then you just keep doing it that way and you'll make it through. And I've learned, obviously, this long doing this stuff that if I screw something up, I can snake my way right back out of it. So, but that's, if you don't panic, it's fine. Everybody else doesn't know what the hell you're saying anyway. They think they do. So they're like, oh, yeah, that's not the words, is it? So It's fun. I like it.
Do you ever blank though? I can remember, 60 songs a night sometimes. There's times as a singer where your mind just doesn't pick it up. What do you do when you blank?
Well, let's see. My last major one was with Dad Rock, who we were doing Roca, and we were doing that song. It's got that mega intro that lasts about 2 minutes. Your contribution left unnoticed, whatever, that song. I can't remember how it started. And so they kept looping that beginning for like 4 minutes. And I was looking at them like, somebody help. And like, all these guys know the words. And they're like, I don't know. So we just did a loop for like 4 minutes. I just grabbed my phone and Google it to start the song. That's not the worst it's ever been.
Well, and sometimes you can get the crowd involved and just be like, oh, here, they can start singing.
I tried that trick. That one's a little deep. I try that with some things. You're like, oh, hey, they got it. And no, that one was a little deeper cut. I was like, oh, I'm so screwed right now. And, whatever. Nobody really was too there.
If you have Brooke help you with that, it'll at least be 3 to 5 seconds behind anyways.
He's not wrong. I feel like I'm on the right beat. No, I am not. So if you ever need help though, I can at least make something up and be.
I know you can do that.
No, Brooke, you'll give Joe Tourette's. Don't do that.
Then I guess I'll have to ask his wife because I know she's a good singer too.
Well, the best. But you guys' harmony, I don't know how you guys.
Harmony, we love to harmonize together. Oh, poor Joe. I'm so sorry I brought that up.
That was like a week ago, but they had their ears with the one ear there, and they were singing together. It was really good.
Yeah. We do it all the time. We do it at the bar when she'll come in and sing for the old guys. They love it.
And she told me she will never. She says, Randy, the place will clear out. I swear.
She's not really a vocal. Like, I don't know. We're driving.
She's the cheerleader.
We're driving it, and that song from now you're just somebody that I used to know. And I have it up loud, and then I think my phone rang or something, and I went to turn it down. She's like, somebody, and I was like, what the fuck was that? And she was spot on, but that was what it came out like. So yeah, you should hear her do it. It's good. She can mimic it perfect.
She is one of a kind. And yes, she could do it. And I think you also had a story. I think it was her in the movie theater with you, and she had her straw, and she would
get me in a room with her, and I can make her do her duck laugh, which is insanity. It is. People think it's fake in like real life. You see this crap on the internet is real. When they put people's weird laughs in like a room, and she'll be like, I don't know how to make the sound because it's unreal. But yeah, we went to Twilight, and it was like the end of the movie. I think she was pregnant, and I don't know. She's all over the map emotionally. And we were just sitting there, and it was so quiet in the movie theater. And she pulled her straw out to like take a drink, but she just kept pulling the fucking thing. It was like for like 5 minutes, and I was like, "Fuck!" I just put my hand on her, and she just lost it. And she was like, I like, let's go. I like make her leave the theater. The weirdest, dude. People around me were just losing their minds, and it was so quiet in there, except for that mess.
She always has something funny to do. She'd come up and run right at you at one of your shows and give you a big hug and fall over. And
she has that lazy eye hair lip thing. She
needs to be a stand-up.
She just wears it to the show, like.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And she needs to be a stand-up comedian. That woman is hilarious. Maybe she could be like when you guys have your little break, she could get up and do her thing.
Just put her on stage and let her just.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. I'll talk to her about it. We'll do it.
You can set that up. You get her up there.
Randy, maybe we'll start it. Maybe we'll start it at a karaoke.
Yeah, let her do a test run there for 2 minutes, see how it goes.
Yeah, I think she'd be awesome at it. I'd love that.
We can make that happen. We can definitely make that happen.
I don't know. I mean, I'm ready to watch it. I don't know how it's going to turn out.
And then her and
I think we have all of our listeners falling off their chairs right now.
If they know Angie, they've heard her laugh when she loses it. It's insane. She did I think Saturday she was going for a while, and it's just like you can't stop it. It's just like it's so weird. It's a weird sound, and it's loud.
We know kind of like what you're doing, but we need to get back to, we need to kind of pull it back for a second. Let's let the listener know how you began in music, because for me, it's fascinating because I only knew you through football. I didn't know that you were this guy. I wish I had known back then, but when did you get into music? How did you get into music? And why did you get into music are the major questions that I want to know right now.
Well, I mean, initially I was trying to win a girl over. So I learned how to play guitar in like 10th grade. I already knew how to play guitar from my grandpa. All my family plays music and everything, but I didn't play in public. I didn't sing in public at all. I was too shy. I still get butterflies to sing in a public setting for like about 5 minutes, and then it goes away. But I always have it before I start. I taught myself how to play by ear and just kind of learned from there. And in high school, I was in a band, Matt Merrill and Anders Peterson. And we just had a few songs. We wrote some songs and played a couple covers, and we played Joy Night, I think. And that was fun. And that was kind of the gist of it. And then I was dating a girl when we graduated who liked to sing karaoke. She's about 3 or 4 years older than me. And I just kind of sneak into the bars with her or whatever. And there's a contest, and I entered it, and I won. I think I did Arms Wide Open or something along those lines. And I won, and it was really embarrassing to me to like sing. And so other people were like, hey, do that again, you know? And so I started singing a little bit karaoke, and then I play my original songs on guitar to just my friends and stuff like that. And then I think somebody came up to me. They had a full-fledged band that had been playing for years. Their singer was moving to Vegas, and they had heard me doing karaoke at the Beacon. And I was probably 19 or 20. And they went ahead and had me audition, and the whole band said I was the worst singer they ever heard. And then they hired me anyway. and that was Unspoken. It used to be Seed. We became Unspoken, played a lot of originals, a lot of covers, Point After, Drove, played with Jackal, Buck Cherry, did a lot of cool stuff with that band. And then Section 8, went into Section 8, ran into some of those guys, just ended up meeting them. So then we did that, and that was all original, a little heavier than Unspoken, not quite metal, but right in there, Linkin Park-ish. We played about 7 years with those guys, and the other band didn't like that, and so they shit canned me. I wrote all the songs, so it was just weird, awkward for them. But they fired me and then hired another guy. The old singer came back from Vegas, and that's fine. We're all cool now. But so I just did Section 8 for a while, and then the guys from that band, when they broke up, had Swagger Wagon. And so in between like Section 8 and Swagger Wagon, I took like a 5-year hiatus off of music. I got too messed up, let's say, or whatever, just partying too hard, running around doing all that stuff. And it was fun, but yeah, I just kind of had to get my shit together. So then, fast forward, Ghetto Blaster, Dad Rock, Swagger Wagon, all kind of a different me, as opposed to like Section 8 and Unspoken. I was insane. I still like to sing, and honestly, I prefer to sing over rap, but it is a lot of fun to rap those songs. And that's something I never was into as far as doing live, but being in the band, I've obviously gotten better at it. But yeah, that's not really was my dream, but they're like, dude, you just got to do it.
All right. There's no better time than now to talk about our sponsors, run those commercials from the Elegant Sasquatch and Sly Ink Tattoo, and then talk about the people, places, and things that make this show go. So let's get to it right now. We'll do the local roundup after that, and then we will return with our guest, Joe Clapper. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get ready to rumble with the Ultimate Beard Care Showdown. Introducing our headliner, the one, the only, Squatch.
Oh yeah, Mean Jim. Squatch in the house, and I'm here to tell you about beard products that'll make your whiskers the talk of the town. If your beard's ready to take on the world, you need the power of our beard balms, butters, and oils, brother.
That's right, Squatch. Let's kick things off with the Beard Balm of Legends.
This beard balm is like a body slam for your beard. It tackles those wild hairs and smooths them out, making your beard look like $1,000,000. No sweat, brother.
What's the scoop with the beard butter?
Oh, brother, it's a game changer. This butter makes your beard softer than a cloud and as easy to manage as a well-oiled wrestling machine. Plus, it's got a scent that's as sweet as victory. Oh, yeah.
And let's not forget the beard oil.
The beard oil is the final knockout punch. It hydrates, shines, and smells like a championship belt made of cedar and pine. Your beard will be the 1, 2, 3 of any match.
Where can our fans score these unbeatable products?
You read my mind, brother. Head on over to elegantsasquatchco.etsy.com and grab your beard gear. And listen up. Use the code SUPERSHOW and get a jaw-dropping 20% off. That's right, 20% off. Your beard's about to go from 0 to hero, brother.
That's elegantsasquatchco.etsy.com and use your code SUPERSHOW for 20%. Don't wait, make your beard the ultimate champ today. Ahoy, mateys! Christopher Columbus here. You know me. I discovered America, or at least that's what the history books have been saying for years. Anyways, I have a little confession to make. My compass quit halfway through the trip, and I got lost at sea on the way there.
Ahoy, Captain. What direction should we point the boat?
Shut up, you fool. I'm in the middle of a commercial here. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yes. When we arrived on land there, the natives were all decked out in their cool Viking gear. They said these big, smelly, bearded guys came, hung out, then split with all their cool stuff.
Aye, it was a weird day.
That could have been our cool stuff. We could have claimed all this great treasure and all this pirate's plunder.
But, sir, how will we steer the boat if we don't have a compass?
Well, this next trip is going to be different. I'm heading to Sly Ink Tattoo to get a compass on my hand. After that, everything is coming up Christopher Columbus.
Ahoy, sir. That new ink looks great on you. After I swaps the poop deck and grease the hootenannies, I think we're going to be back to speed and... Oh, no.
What is it now, you buffoon?
It appears as if America's shores are just on the horizon.
What? How could this be? I've been pointing my arm in the same direction for days. Well, looks like this tattoo compass is broken too. Guess I'll have to head back to Sly Inc. for that dolphin lower back tattoo I've been wanting to get. Well, looks like our native friends are waving us in, but oh, wait, they don't look very happy. Well, until next time, friends, if there is one. All right, Lincoln, let's get to the local roundup. Let's talk about the places you need to go this weekend for all your party needs. First off, let's start at Gray's Keg naturally. Friday, 8:30 p.m., they've got Swap Meet Sally. These guys have been rocking for quite a while. I can remember rocking around them and seeing them play at the Nowhere Bar years ago. These guys are top-notch and fun, so go see them. And then, as if that isn't enough, on Saturday night at 8:30 p.m., they've got another Lincoln staple. Our friend Chris Dittmer and his band Hook are playing, and you don't want to miss that. $5 cover. You could put together that and change if you want. You could raid your kids' little piggy banks, and you could go to that show. So don't miss that amazing weekend of music at Gray's Keg. Don't forget to go to the TAM in between when you're hungry for the best burger in town. They've got prime rib. They've got lunch specials. They've got it all. So go to the TAM. Next, we have the Zoo Bar. The Zoo Bar always has a huge weekend going on. This weekend's no different. First off, starting with the FAC at 5 p.m., they've got Shit Hook. You guys know those guys. They've been around for, I think, forever, honestly. Since the beginning of Lincoln. They're a live karaoke band, and they are a lot of fun, so go see them. Then later on, they've got Moon Shroom at 9 p.m., a $12 cover. Then on Saturday, they've got the return of the All-Star City Blues Band. They're returning to the Zoo Bar, and they are going to kick butt like they always do. So blues fans rejoice. Go see that. What a monster lineup at the Zoo Bar. Let's talk about Roots Music Shop. If you're needing your instruments repaired, some of these bands that are listening out there, some of these wannabe musicians, somebody who just wants to be a hobbyist and just have a guitar or something, go to Roots Music Shop. Tell Ryan that Scratch the Vinyl sent you. He'll embrace you like a brother or sister. He'll shake your hand, high five you, and he'll probably give you the best deals in town. So go to Roots Music Shop for all your needs there. That's your local roundup for this week. Let's get back to our guest, Joe Clapper.
Hey, Joe, so I got to ask you. So a lot of things have been coming back full circle since we've been doing this show. And you just brought up Seed. So was it Alex?
Alex was the singer that moved, and then I took his spot.
Yes. So Alex used to come to my shows, and he was, we brought this up many episodes back with EJ Marshall. So I did this huge contest with Seed
or Creed
on the radio.
I remember all that.
And I recently saw Alex a couple years, hadn't seen him in years, and he's still same voice, killing it. But those days back then, it was crazy. And then we were talking with Jesse Dean from Narcotic Self, and we were bringing up Dirt Fed, and your name got brought up. I'm like, man, I remember these guys when they were like 19, 20 years old.
I think I was like 24 or 23.
24, yeah.
I was, one of the older. Me and Duke were older in Section 8, and so Dirt Fed used our space. Section 8, our guitar player owns the shop, the business that we had our big recording or not necessarily recording practice area, all kinds of, it's a big warehouse. And Dirt Fed was in there, we're in there, a lot of bands practiced in there. And his dad was just a super, super great dude, he's not with us anymore, but Kirk was awesome. And so he always liked to have the music around. And he'd wander from band to band and hang out. You'd have a couple bands practicing at the same time. It's such a big building. And, have some beers and some drinks. And I would say, that time was a great time. Like 2000 to like 2005, all of us were jamming. Everybody was hanging out. We were out there back. That's when you practiced like 3 or 4 nights a week. Not like us lazy guys in these cover bands now, where you practice like twice a month, if you're lucky. You're like, I think we can wing it. Back then, you're trying to do something, and it's a lot of work to go out and try to tour or something and promote your music, and nobody wants to pay you. They don't even want to pay you as a cover band anymore. But back then, you had $1,500 on a weekend in a cover band and $50 as an original band. It was fun, but it was all those guys, all of us knew each other with the venues, which we've lost so many venues. Knickerbockers is gone. some of the bands or places that used to have bands don't have bands anymore, and Omaha's closed down 2 or 3. It's just you lose a lot of music, and it just kind of hurts the scene.
Honestly, that's a lot of why we're doing what we're doing, is just kind of help reviving a little of that local scene and highlighting some places that are really trying to bring live entertainment back. And
I got to give a shout out probably to Pat and Karen just for the effort they made for music. I mean, it's probably not ideal for Ghetto Blaster to play there very often, but they've had us there. I've played many shows there with bands, and I love it there. It's like our old stomping grounds. I like how they try to keep original bands playing, and that's hard to do as a venue because it can be risky, you know. You bring them in, and you know, maybe nobody shows up, and you know, and that's part of the trade-off. You're trying to get your own music out there, getting paid a ton of money. You're trying to get people to hear you. Opposite effect is Ghetto Blaster. We're not putting out our own music. We just want people to come and dance, right? And we'll expect to have a wider range of people looking to do that and come to hear my new rap song, right? So I think that's the trade-off, and I think that they do a good job of allowing bands that are writing their own music and not getting their foot in some of these other venues, letting them play to get going. That's really cool.
Absolutely. We had Pat on the show not long ago, and his insight to a lot of just music, but trying to tap onto the vein of local artists that are just trying to make it. We've been really excited to work with them and be a part of what we're doing. And so we encourage everybody to go down to Gray's Keg and check out new bands, even if they're not cover bands. And some people some people just like hearing new music too.
They bring bands in from out of town and just all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? It's good, and I like it. You know, I think 1867, I think they do a good job of doing that. They don't bring bands like mine in there. They only have original bands for the most part, if I understand correctly, and what I've seen on their bills and who's played there, and that's cool. And then, you know, some of these other places, you got Cappies, and they're not gonna play an original band. They're just not going to, and that's, you know, that's okay. They have what they want going on there, and you know, Rosie's really ain't into that either. And I mean, a couple more of the bourbon, you're getting down to there ain't very many places left to play.
Downtown, I used to love doing the, you know, the original bands because it brought a whole different crowd. And recently, of course, we've been talking about a lot of metal, and I used to do a lot of metal bands, which a lot of places didn't want, but for me, they were great business. I think these places that do a lot of the cover bands, their fans are novice and they don't want to pay the covers, but these subculture original bands that build a following actually get real people to show up and are willing to spend the money to go out and see them.
They do. But you know, it's a lot of work to do that, and I just don't think I have it in me anymore. And I heard a rumor through the grapevine that maybe Section 8 might play a few tunes here in the next month or two and see what that sounds like. But that's a kind of underground right now. We'll see where that pans out.
There you go, a Scratch the Vinyl exclusive right here today. Are you still writing any music anymore? Do you have that passion in you?
Yeah, not as much as I used to. I'm so busy now. You know, I got an adult job and have to do that most of the time, and then family stuff. And, you know, and when I lost my tip of my finger, can you see that?
Chainsaw accident?
It's not that exciting. It's just that somebody dropped something really heavy on it and I pulled my hand back and it was gone. It kind of made it difficult to play some of the songs that I'd even written because they were a little more intricate. So it kind of knocked me out of it for a while. It pissed me off, right? And then slowly I started playing again a little bit acoustic here and there. Lee and Manny will have stuff where they're like, hey, you want to come play some songs? And I'm like, all right. And so I'm slowly rolling back into it. I kind of figured out how to make it work. That was really frustrating for me because that's really the only thing that affected my entire life. Like, I didn't even notice it anywhere else except for the guitar.
Well, retraining yourself to play would be horrible. I mean, I had a guitar player. He was a lead guitar player, and he busted his hand into pieces, had to retrain himself how to play. And he told me, like, the hell that he went through, just not even be able to play simple stuff. So I can only imagine how hard it was for you.
It's frustrating, you know, and it's totally doable. There's people that, like, have it way worse, and they're like making #1 albums. So it's like it's doable if you put in the effort. But I was just frustrated because it wasn't so hard, and now it's so hard.
Well, and the other caveat, there's kids out there playing with their feet because they don't have any arms. So it's like then I have to.
That's what I'm getting at. Like, am I really gonna bitch about it?
Exactly.
I was legit gonna say that though, because when I was being taught the guitar, like my hands are so like little boy fat hands, and they were like, no, they're fine. You can do it. Everybody can do it. And then I got shown a video of this little girl that had no fingers, and she ripped this guitar. I was like, oh, never mind. I guess using an excuse, I guess. But yeah, it's hard to do, but it's doable.
It is, and that's that's what you quit bitching about. You can do it. You just got to put in the work, and it's just when it's so much easier for you before. You know what I mean? Like I was already playing.
Right.
Then it just is a mind thing. Like why do I even care anymore? It's stupid. Whereas if I always was missing a finger, maybe it wouldn't piss me off so bad.
Well, I could learn how to play with my feet. I think I got an extra toe. Where it is, yeah, a bunion, grandma feet. We talk about it all the time. We have OnlyFans where I'm just playing the guitar with my feet. I might do a lot better.
You think? And OnlyFans with your feet?
Yeah. Well, it's going to start off with meat, and then I'm going to go play the guitar. So I think a lot of people watch it. I guess.
I mean, you want the most followers, and you have an extra toe. Use your camel to play the guitar. That hasn't been done yet.
I use it as a capo.
Capo?
Yeah, it's not like a long action. No. I can be on stage with you and you can just grab my foot and yeah, dude, it's already calloused up. It's fine.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Anyway.
So how often are you playing with all the bands these days?
So last year we were pretty busy. I thought we played quite a few shows. Not our busiest year, but it felt like I was playing with one or the other at least every month, sometimes twice. I think ultimately we wanted to do like 12 shows in Ghetto Blaster at least, and 12 to 14, and that's including maybe Kansas City, maybe Omaha, but in Lincoln at least 8, right? That's kind of what we were looking at. 8 and then a few extras out of towners. Dad Rock, we're trying to play every other month. I don't like playing every weekend. I think it just burns people out. We're not really wanting to travel all over to make that happen. So it's like, you got 3 venues you can play in Lincoln. I don't want to play them every weekend or nobody's going to show up. I'll catch them next week. We try, like I said, this year right now, both bands aren't playing until March. We got some revamping going on in Ghetto Blaster and things in Dad Rock. We're trying to get some stuff tightened up. And so it just kind of fell that way. The Dad Rock is going to play March 7th at Cappy's. That's our first show this year. And then I think we've got some other stuff coming up now that people are messaging us and get things booked. But up until then, I don't think we have anything. And then Ghetto Blaster is playing March 14th at Bogey's West in Omaha. So those are the only 2 shows on the books right now, besides the major ones that we book. Like usually Halloween's already booked, things like that. But no New Year's shows this year, and I'm okay with that. And I think everybody else was pretty happy about that too, just to do their own thing.
Well, don't ever be afraid to let us know, because we'd love to promote any shows that you got coming up here in the future.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, that's part of what we're doing is trying to support local entertainment and get that information out. And
another bar that I probably should give a shout out to is Bailey's in Eagle. Ty does a good job of getting people out there, as often as he can. And the bar is pretty supportive. The crowd always shows up. It's a great bar out there in Eagle, and they do music out there, and it's always been good when we're out there. I love it.
Bailey's is fun to go out there. They have a good venue, totally.
The food is top notch.
And it is really good. Yes. Same with Rosie's. I like that place too. Yep. But also, so I know Manuel does a lot of like your videos, and if everybody would get on Facebook and some other social media, he has some really cool videos of you guys playing, and it gets the crowd. I mean,
his setup is it takes him quite a while, but he sets up all that keyboards and all that stuff, and then he spends like an hour setting up cameras, and there's cameras like posted around the bar that he like puts up. And then he has one on a stick that's a 360 camera that he'll set up, and that catches like the whole, it's insane. And then he has one that's mobile that he can hand to us or people in the crowd, and he takes all that footage and goes through it later, and he's like a tech wizard. He really is, and he does a really good job of. I think that's another thing that we were doing in Ghetto Blaster is as an EPK, which we have kind of a crusty one. We never really put a lot of effort into it, and that's where you go play the bars in the Ozarks and everywhere else, which we've done, but you get a lot more doors opening for you when you mail them that EPK. So we're kind of working that in now, and he does that type of stuff very well. Put together video with music and lyrics and make it look like it's a good time. So a bar owner looks at this and says, yeah, I want this band.
Yeah, he does a phenomenal job. I mean, there's a few videos I think I'm in.
You're in a bunch. I could pull one up probably right now.
Okay, okay, and next, let's do something. Let's talk about something else. No, I'm kidding. But he does a great job, and people need to go check that out. Like just watching your guys' videos. I mean, not even make it look fun. That is what it looks. That is what it is when you're there. Like it is a blast. And so you have Manuel, and I know he does all the keyboard. He even has like the whistle, and he does all the other stuff. And then who else is in the band, and what do they play again? Because I know
John's our bass player, John Packard, and Lee Bose, on a guitar, and Stan also rapping with me. And then I have a new drummer. His name's Mike, and they call him Pork Chop. I don't know him that well, but he seems really cool and he plays really well. So we're kind of developing that right now. No, all the guys kind of have their role. They're all in other bands, and they're all of us at one time were in like a bunch of bands, and I've kind of toned it down. But Manny and John, I mean, they're professional musicians. That's what they do. They're either teaching or they're playing, and so they're pretty good at what they do. And they could be. The reason it's so hard to book shows is because these guys are booking dueling pianos, and they're filling in 9 other bands, and they're playing weddings, 4 bands, and they just have so much stuff going on. So we try to get these things booked out ahead of time. That's the toughest part, I think, of being in a band, is being able to book a day.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you're all seasoned musicians. So even if you did get something booked, if someone right now is listening, want to book you guys, and you could do it in a week, it's not like, we got to practice 18 hours every day. You guys are pretty seasoned. I mean,
and that's a two-way street, right? So you can get better, or you can just kind of coast. And I think that's what we're trying to do this year, is to tighten things back up. Mm-hmm. And it never hurts to throw a couple practices in, get some new material, tighten the things up, get the starts and stops right. That takes it from a low-level band to a higher-level band. The less bullshit that you have going on, the tighter your show is, the more people are willing to pay you, the more people are willing to bring you out to their places, far, near and far. All that stuff factors in. And so we're trying to get back. That's how we started. And I think we got, a little lazy along the way, because it's so fun and easy to be that way. And I think we kind of want to take it a step back and, hey, let's get back to when we started this thing. We were hitting it and going in some practices and bringing new material. And I think that's the route we're taking this year.
Well, and you kind of get used to working with the people that you're mm-hmm. with. It kind of does get to a point where, like, okay, we need to change it up. But I'm telling you, though, you guys, like, I say this all the time, when you're watching somebody, whether a musician, whatever, when you're entertaining, and you guys are very entertaining. I mean, you're not just standing there playing a guitar, singing, doing a little rap. I mean, it's like a big show. Like, now we just need some like fire and, and crazy. I think I did the lights for you guys one time and I know I did at Vega. And because the light guy wasn't there, but the sound guy was. And Eli was like, hey, Brooke, is there any way you can go up here and do this real quick? Because he had to leave for a second. And I said, yeah, absolutely. How hard can it be? And I went up there and he goes, just don't press this button. And I've done it twice, and it was with another band. And I don't know why I pressed the button, but all the lights turn off and then they turn back on, and I just kept going. But it was perfect timing though, both times. And it was so much fun to do that for you guys. And I'm just like, boo, 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 and there's lights going all over the place. And I asked, I think it was Stan, I go, did you notice all the lights? And he goes, I think I almost had a stroke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I thought it looked pretty rad.
Yeah, they got a little fog heavy in that bar. I hate anybody listening, sound guys, I hate smoke machines. I freaking hate them. Their bars love them. They just like turn them on, and I'm just in there choking to death. Like, knock the shit off.
It's like having hot, like if you're outside and it's 900 degrees out, it's so hard to play with that kind of stuff. It's cool. But I think, Cain, didn't you like wear masks and stuff?
Oh, yeah. I would wear like the Darth Vader mask and all that stuff. But, I have a story about the fog machines. I hate fog machines too. One, it sucks as a singer because it sucks up into your lungs. But we actually had venues where we had somebody call the fire department because they thought that it was on fire behind us.
So much smog.
Oh, it was insane, man. Yeah. So no fog machines out there. Sound guy, don't do it. It's not right.
Oh, I had a time where they actually set off the fire alarm and the fire department came down. And guess what? You have to pay a fine for that.
Shit. That's not good.
From that point on, I think I said, no more fog machines.
Well, I'll take a second. I'll just let everybody know Dad Rock's members as well. Brock and Justin, two Erics, tall Eric and short Eric Marshall and Eric Wilkinson. And then there's me, Joe Clapper. And like I said, if you guys get out and you want to hear some good rock music, Dad Rock's the one. We go all over on that too. We play some heavy stuff, a lot of good rock from the 90s as well. Then Ghetto Blaster is your 90s hip hop. So if you're looking for that, that's a good night for you too. So 2 shows in March. If you guys want to come out, maybe we'll give you a heads up. You guys can let everybody know again when the time gets closer.
Absolutely. We'll definitely add it to our local roundup. We've been doing that now between, where we talk about sponsors. We'll do the local roundup. So we'll definitely add that. And please, please get a hold of us. Whenever you have a gig, if we don't already see it on the different Facebooks and different things, tell us, and we'll definitely put it out there for you guys on any of the bands that you're in.
That's wonderful.
I hope that we're providing a good networking, a good entertainment for this town, something that this town was missing, right? I really hope that that's what this show is filling, kind of like what you guys are doing with the bands that you're in. You're filling those gaps where these bands aren't covering the things that they're kind of getting complacent. They're kind of playing the same stuff, and you guys aren't doing that. And it just keeps it fresh. And I hope that we're doing that as a podcast.
I mean, I'll say this. When Joe shows up to one of my shows to do a little karaoke, like he'll do a song and then the whole crowd basically wants Joe to perform the rest of the night and get a free show out of him. And I've tried to work this out that for Joe to do this, he should at least get a ton of free drinks. I mean,
you know what? That never disappoints. Let's put it that way. That always happens, and then you can notice that it gets real good towards the end. How great I sing. So,
well, yeah, it was a couple weeks ago. You did Up in Here, and the place just went.
Yeah, those
off the walls.
I can handle those on a good buzz. Some of the other ones, and me and Angie kind of in the same singing range.
You're even really good, like around the campfire. I mean, you have backup singers.
Yeah, I don't forget that stuff. I remember you guys. You guys were helping me out so good.
And I was like, it was like a free show. It was a free show, though. I go, do another one. Do one more. Just one more. Here's a guitar. Oh, here's 2 guitars. Here, you take this one. Yeah. It's
just trying to roast a hot dog or something. Yeah. Here, just take this. This will be fine.
I'll roast your hot dog. You take the guitar. Wait a second.
What just happened here?
I'm going to make lasagna.
Well, as usual, I knew this was going to happen. I told Kay before the show, I said, we're going to get Joe on here, and this is going to be entertaining, and time's going to fly by. I mean, I can't believe, we've already been talking an hour, and I know we got to get you out of here, but again, we really appreciate you taking a little time and coming on the show with us today. Our fans love hearing these stories about what our local artists are doing, and you're a big part of that. So thanks for coming out here, man.
No, thank you guys. Appreciate you for having me on.
Well, everybody, go see Dad Rock, go see Ghetto Blaster, and hopefully we'll get that Section 8 reunion that we've all been waiting for. So, Joe, thank you for being on the show, and for the listeners out there, even you guys in Sweden and Germany, we know you're listening because I see those stats. Thank you guys for listening. Come back next week for another amazing episode of
Scratch the Vinyl.